From humble beginnings in Malawi to one of South Africa's most controversial pastors, Shepherd Bushiri's story is one of faith, fortune, and fraud. Welcome back to the channel. This is True Crime with Sinsuku's Folktale, where we discuss court cases, fraud, and corruption. So if you like our videos, do not forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Today we dive deep into the shocking revelations from South Africa's Special Investigating Unit, or SIU, about one of the country's most famous and infamous pastors, Shepherd Bushiri. Shepherd Bushiri was born in Malawi and rose to fame as a charismatic preacher. In 2010, he founded the Enlightened Christian Gathering in Pretoria, which later became known as the Jesus Nation Church. His sermons drew massive crowds, and soon membership reportedly grew to over 2 million followers in South Africa alone. Bushiri's church promised miracles, financial blessings, and spiritual guidance.
To see your confession now. Confess it. No coronavirus in my family in Jesus' name. Confess this now in Jesus' mighty name. Confess it. Decree this now. Don't just hear it. I know there are people who like ignoring when God is speaking. All right? I said declare it. No coronavirus in my family in Jesus' name. Declare it. Declare it yourself. Declare it. No coronavirus in my family.
But behind the scenes, investigators now say a darker story was unfolding.
As you may be aware that my wife and I left South Africa on the grounds that we actually felt the persecution that we were facing in South Africa, being arrested on issues that were unfounded. Not only that, we survived several death threats and attempts by various assassins, which we believe they were linked to some government officials, more especially the investigating officers who were actually investigating us. That tells you that we wouldn't, clear our names if we would have been killed. So we decided to come back home here in Malawi, and we handed over ourselves to the courts in Malawi here, to our law enforcement, because it was not an issue of running away from the justice system. So we're in the courts now. So today we were in the courts of Malawi, and South Africa government officials were here. What did South Africa government do? They come and arrest me and my wife. Yet, my wife and I had opened a case against the Rising Estate for stealing money from our members.
Bushiri's arrival in South Africa was not unusual. Many foreign pastors seek residence to grow their ministries, but according to the SIU, his permanent residence permit was approved under highly suspicious circumstances. The person who approved it, a member of his own church, Kaloku.
We conducted search and seizure at Asylum and Fraud Revelation, where a whistleblower brought forward to the SIU allegation that foreign nationals enter South Africa, fraudulently obtain asylum seeker permit, and later use them to apply permanent residence and ultimately citizenship. The SIU received information that this foreigner national collude with syndicate involving corrupt Home Affairs official to secure permits without merit, as permits are issued upon application without assessing the asylum claims. Holders can remain in the country even if their application is rejected by exhausting appeal rights up to the Constitutional Court, regardless of the merits of their application.
A clear conflict of interest, right? The SIU says fraudulent documents were used to support his application, including a letter of financial independence signed by a chartered accountant who admitted he was paid just for his signature. Investigators revealed that Bushiri's non-profit company moved $1.2 million in cash through Lanseria Airport as proof of an aircraft purchase. Funds meant for religious donation were allegedly converted into property, corporate shares, and even luxury assets. Bushiri held directorships in 14 companies and owned multiple properties in Pretoria. According to the SIU, the lines between church donations and personal wealth were alarmingly blurred.
The SIU found that Bushiri held directorship in 14 companies and owned multiple properties in Pretoria. And our investigator found that religious donations were converted into a brick, mortar, and corporate shares, highlighting how faith-based contributions were laundered into personal wealth.
Bushiri's church, the Jesus Nation Church, was not just a place of worship, it was a sprawling empire. Followers contributed generously, believing they were supporting miracles and community projects. Yet, the SIU's investigation suggests some of these funds were meant for personal enrichment and corporate ventures. 2010, Bushiri starts the Enlightened Christian Gathering in Pretoria. 2010 to 2024, church grows to millions of members in South Africa. May 2024, SIU launches search and seizure operations across 5 refugee reception offices. 2024 to 2026, SIU uncovers fraudulent residence permits, including Bushiri's, highlighting systematic corruption in home affairs. The SIU's investigations paints a disturbing picture. South Africa's immigration system, they say, was treated as a commodity. Officials, some connected to religious figures like Bushiri, allegedly approved permits and visas for money. Payments were hidden in cash, e-wallet transfers, or even in-kind contributions like reds. The SIU found that this network of religious leaders, including Bushiri, exploited the system through fake documents, marriages of convenience, and falsified financial statements. Facing multiple investigations and fraud allegations, Bushiri eventually left South Africa for his home country of Malawi.
Paul, he was, I think, a captain, Paul, who said that the General of the Hawks, a department which these 4 police officers were coming from, would stop our case if we would give him something. I remember some of my team members going to have a meeting with this Pharaoh General, known as General Sibia. So much money was collected in the name of this general to stop this case. Instead of the general to stop the case, so it was corruption after another corruption. Problem, you go to the authorities, they also are demanding for something, to end something. I remember my team having a meeting with the then General of Hawks at his farm several times. Having meetings with him at his residence in Silverton several times. An attempt for our justice failed.
Yet questions remain about the millions of rands allegedly misused and the full extent of corruption he allegedly benefited from. Shepherd Bushiri's story is a stark reminder. Faith and influence can be used for good, but they can also be exploited. Millions believed in miracles, while investigators now reveal that some donations may have fueled fraud, money laundering, and corporate empires. And there's people who are still believing that Bushiri is a real pastor, is a real prophet. The SIU's findings make one thing clear. South Africa's immigration system was treated as a marketplace, and influential figures like Bushiri were at the center of it. If you want to stay updated on stories like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Comment below, what do you think about Bushiri's empire and the role of faith in these scandals? We want to hear from you. And this is True Crime with Nsuku's Folktale. See you on the next case.